and then because it's facilitating this transaction, Holo takes a cut. Does that make sense? So that's what Holo is. That's what Holochain is. So Holo it solves two problems, which is it removes a barrier for mainstream users. So that's how we can actually bring dApps mainstream, which is really rad, because then you get all of the same scalability capacities, and you get all of the same coordination capacities that you have with the Holochain app, but anyone can access them through whatever their iPhone, their Android, their web browser, whatever. And then it pays for smoothies also. If you want to learn more, you can go to developer.holochain.org. If you want to join in our community conversations, you can come and see me, and I can get you an invite to our Mattermost where we talk about stuff.
Do you have this diagram somewhere on your laptop?
Yeah. I just have to pull it up. It's on the Holochain website.
Well, I think that makes things pretty clear on one slide, at least the broad architecture.
Here it is. There we go.
The cool thing about Holo too is that so the end user will be able to access your app. Like if you host your app on Holo, the hosting mechanism, users can just access it by going to, the same way they use websites now. They go to yourapp.com, they load it up, it's a Holochain app. Like no need to install, like on Ethereum, to use a dApp on Ethereum, you have to install MetaMask and understand what that is and how to install a Chrome extension or a Firefox extension. You then have to go and buy crypto, like you have to buy Ethereum, and you have to know how to do that. Then every time you do something on the dApp, you have to MetaMask pops up and says, do you want to do this thing? And you have to go confirm and make it happen. Like users accessing apps on Holo it'll look like a normal website. They won't even know the difference.
So where's that happening? Where's the MetaMask equivalent stuff happening? You have a profile with your ratings?
That would be in one particular application. So this goes back to there is no big Holochain. Every application has its own network.
But in this example where you just go to a website and then
none of that's built.
So the routing that they're doing is just through Cloudflare. Okay. So it's the same way as when you go to a website, like a domain, it's just pointing to an IP address. So what they're doing is you go to the domain name that you own, and you've pointed that domain name to an IP address or a text name or whatever they provide when they set that up, and it'll point to a Cloudflare DNS, which will then point into the distributed Holo hosting ecosystem of all these thousands of people hosting boxes and stuff.
That's actually the current workaround to get the actual code that might even be fully distributed in the future. But at the end, you have some application with a DNA. That's how they call more or less the smart contracts, and you have this sort of small blockchain which you see on the top left corner for every application, and that's where you write your data in. And as I said before, if you want to share stuff, then you have the distributed hash table where you can retrieve data by hash. And one of the most convincing things of Holochain is everybody knows blockchain, and the problem is that it's all shared, and the blockchain is the bottleneck. So even if you have a solution for not existing problem, you don't get much further than a POC with a transaction volume you have at the moment. But if Eric and we want to do a transaction, money or whatever, do really 6,000 nodes have to do a lot of proof of work number crunching and to write it in the global worldwide blockchain? Is that really necessary? And the approach of Holochain is that it's not. So Eric runs his application, I run my application. If we both agree that we want to do a transaction and we sign each other's small blockchain, then we do the transaction, and then it's fine. And 100 million people can do that in parallel, and that's where the scalability comes from. And that's why there's no bottleneck anymore, because you don't have a single blockchain. And if we want to share our result with others, or if there's an application which needs some shared space, then you have the distributed hash table, like for redundancy. So like the Twitter thing where you want to keep copies of your tweets on other computers as well. So in case
That would be, each one of these is another user, another
Yeah.
person's smartphone. So right? This is your phone, this is your rules of your game, so this is your application, right? That's it. And then this is your local chain. That's the exercise that I have for people that want, you can actually like go through a process where you embody, like make your own source chain, and we make a DHT so you get how it actually works. If you want.
And so like, for, as you, just to get straight, inside the box, that has all the functionality of a blockchain. Like if you want to come to consensus on something.
No,
in
the
a
box is
trustless
local.
way.
This is only local. This is the group piece. You can build a blockchain on Holochain. You can require everyone to do that, right? You just don't have to. Yeah, but this is just like a local hash table. It's just your hash table.
Blockchain.
What?
Blockchain.
It's a hash chain.
Hash chain. Thank you. Sorry.
It doesn't block them up.
Actually, if you look up what
It's
a
not a
blockchain is, blockchain exists since more than 20 years before Bitcoin. It was invented by Stornetta, who was actually here in Sydney last year. I actually spoke to him. So you have a blockchain, a hash of blocks, and hash of the next block, blah, blah, blah. And that's how you make it bulletproof. And Bitcoin is another thing. That's where consensus comes in and incentives and all this kind of stuff. But a pure blockchain is just a block, a hash, the next block and the hash, just to make tamper-proof that you can't fiddle even with your own data and change what you have written in the past. And that's on the top left corner in the box. That's actually a blockchain.
I think that I'm gonna need Nathan. I want to stand by when Nathan argues about that with you. I think because I think we don't call that a. I know we don't call that a blockchain.
Okay.
We call it a source chain or a hash chain because it's not a blockchain the way that blockchains work. I'm hearing is that historically it might actually technically be a blockchain, but this is where I'm out of my league technically. But I also don't want to misinform people. And if something doesn't sound right about the language.
Sorry.
What was the question?
Whether it's a hash chain or a blockchain.
Oh, with
Hang on a second. I want to do just a check in. Where's
In the
everyone
private,
at
in your
energy-wise?
private
This is
source
like,
chain.
I'm bored.
It's not.
And this is,
Yeah.
I'm tracking, I'm like really focused, and I want to keep going this way. Where's everyone at? Okay. And then I want to do a check up. Who would like to do like the physical exercise where you like actually like make a thing? This is, I'd really like to do that, and this is, I want to continue with question and answers. Where's everyone at with that? Okay. So we're gonna do a little tiny bit more questions and answers, and then we'll move into activity, and then one group will continue to have a conversation.
There was a question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, does anyone else have a question? Thank you.
you mentioned before, I don't know if it's just an example, you said it would be difficult for Holochain to run like a decentralized YouTube. Was that
No,
just
it
an
would be
example?
difficult to run, no, actually,
meant
we actually
just
had
something
someone build it at a hackathon in
Yeah.
a weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, just wanted to check.
No,
I
it would be
find that's a big
difficult to run
competition.
a decentralized YouTube
Yeah.
just on phones
Yeah.
without having computers on the network to do a greater deal of
That's
service.
already.
Yes, but we could definitely make it decentralized YouTube. Thank you. Yeah. Yep.
So this decentralized hash table, I'm very non-technical. Does this
Distributed hash.
distributed hash table, is that something that exists for only the people using the app? Like
Great.
the
Every
app?
application
Yeah.
has its own DHT. And some applications might even have like multiple little, or like actually a little conglomerate
Yeah.
of multiple DHTs
Yeah.
playing with each other. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask a question on privacy. So say for instance, I was thinking about having like a chatting app between a few people. Does everyone with access to Holochain know that this app exists, can get in on the app, know who's using this app?
That depends on where you make the actual
Like, is there an
application available. I mean, if you put an application on like an open marketplace, right, then anyone can find it, yeah. If you're a big enterprise and you're like, we want to make something that we want to use internally with this technology, then you make it internally and you just don't share it out. And then if you want to bring something to the masses,
Yeah.
then you use Holo
Yeah.
and you serve it out to the masses.
What changes that? Is it just the phone or like whatever? Is it just the devices? How do you keep it internal? Or is that the wrong question? Is the
Yeah,
Is it
by default it's
it's
internal. Like as in, it's like I created a chat group and then invited you in it and you in it and you in it. Like
Right.
by default, no one else is invited.
And you can
Because the
create.
rules are, because the rules are only